So whenever you're ready, you can come to your mat. And we're actually going to begin this flow in child's pose. And so for child's pose, you're going to come onto your knees. Bring your big toes to touch and send your hips back to your heels. Stretching your arms out in front of you. Pressing your palms into your mat. Keeping your elbows lifted off your mat for this strengthening child's pose. And you're pressing your hips towards your heels as your hands are gripping your mat. You can bring your forehead to your mat as well to rest if that feels good. And this is where we connect with our breath. This is where you're going to begin those drawn out inhales and exhales, in and out through your nose. Maybe counting to 4. So you're going to inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. And our breath is what guides us through our practice. So you'll hear me cue for those inhales and exhales as we move through the sequence of postures. But if you're not at the same breath that I am, that's okay. You can follow your own breath to indicate when to move through the poses. This is also where we can set an intention for our practice, a word or a phrase, something that you can carry with you throughout this sequence, maybe throughout the day or throughout the week. And whenever you are ready, on your next inhale, you're going to reach your hands over to the right corner of your mat, keeping your shoulders pressed towards the mat so they're still even and square with your mat. Maybe bringing your left wrist over your right, but then drawing that left shoulder back towards the mat as you're getting a stretch in that left side of your body. And then inhaling back to the center and walking your hands over to the left. Crossing that right wrist over your left now. And pressing that right shoulder back towards the mat. So you feel that side body open up. And then inhaling your hands back to center, keeping them out in front of you, and then pressing up into our tabletop. And so your hips are stacked over your knees, the tops of your feet are on the mat, and your shoulders are stacked over your wrists. You have your fingers spread wide, and your elbows are your inner elbows are facing each other. Your elbow eyes, as I've heard them called. We're going to move through our cat-cow flow here. So you're going to inhale your head and your tailbone up, pressing through your shoulders here, lifting up. And then exhale, curling your back, tucking your chin. Your gaze is between your knees. And so you move through these flows with your breath. Inhaling up into our cow. And exhaling into our cat, pressing up. Move through that for 3 more breaths here as we warm up our spine. And again, moving very slow and dramatically here. Maybe 1 more round. And then after your last cat, coming back into our tabletop, where we will tuck our toes under, lift our knees off the mat, and press our hips up into our first down dog. If this is your first down dog of the day, you can begin pedaling your feet, sending opposite heels as you bend the knee towards the mat. Really feeling your calves and your hamstrings light up. And you're pressing as well as pressing your fingertips into the mat. You don't want all of the weight to be on your wrist, as June says hello. And you're pressing through your shoulders as well. So you're not dumping in. You're really engaging your shoulders and squeezing those shoulder blades together. And if you ever need a break in our down dogs, you can always come down to your knees, whether it is for the whole time or just for a moment. And if your wrists ever feel sensitive, you can come into fists, or you could also come down on your forearms for a dolphin downward dog. So you have options here, and as always, listen to your body. Taking one more breath in our down dog. Exhaling here. On your next inhale, send that left foot up towards the sky, keeping the foot flexed, pressing that heel towards the ceiling. Exhale, bend the knee, bring it forward next to your left hand. You're going to bring that back, that right knee, down onto the mat, releasing the top of the foot onto the mat and lifting up in our low lunge. Your hands can be up above your head, squeezing those biceps towards your ears. Or if your shoulders need a break, you can bring your hands towards your hips. As we're feeling that stretch in our psoas muscle here in the front of our right hip, as well as the side of our left hip here. And then on your next exhale, you're bringing your hands to the mat, framing that front foot, tucking the back toes under, sending the left foot back, meeting back in our down dog. Pressing through the shoulders here, taking a breath, deep inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. Inhale, right foot up towards the sky, pressing that heel towards the ceiling. As you exhale, bend the knee and bring it forward next to your right hand. Lower that left knee, that back knee down onto the mat, and inhale your body up. Bringing those arms up above your head, palms facing each other. Or if you need a break, bringing your hands to your hips. Just taking a breath here, keeping that front knee in a line with that front ankle. You don't want to send it over. You're keeping your core engaged here as well. Taking one more breath. And then on that exhale, sending those hands down to the mat to frame that front foot. Lifting the back knee off the mat, sending that right knee, or that right foot to meet your left in our down dog. Take another cleansing breath here. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. Inhale, left heel to sky. Exhale, bending the knee, bringing it forward. You can come down on that back knee again, or if you're feeling a little bit stronger right now, you can lift up, keeping that right knee off the mat for our high lunge, our crescent lunge. So that front knee alignment over that front ankle here, and you're high on those back toes. So you're really lifting your heel up, trying to make it as if your foot is on the back wall. And you're really engaging that back thigh too. So really squeezing your leg here to really lift yourself up a little bit higher. And then your hands can be above your head or again at your hips if they need a little bit of a break. Let's take one more breath here in our crescent. And then if your arms aren't already there, Inhaling your arms up, lifting up. Exhale, pivoting on those back toes, opening up into our warrior two. So now your back foot is parallel to the back of your mat. Your toes are pointing towards the side of your mat, but your front foot is still in that same alignment, that knee over ankle, toes facing forward. Kind of pull your shoulders back a little bit so that they're in line over your hips, and your arms are making a straight line here. Taking a breath here. And then you're going to inhale, reaching forward at the hips. Exhale, tick-tock your arms down, bringing your elbow on the inside of your knee or resting on your thigh for our side angle. Your gaze is up at your right hand. And we're studying our breath here. And then inhaling, pivoting back up into our warrior two. Exhale, flip the palm, reverse warrior. Now your left hand comes to the sky. Maybe bend a little bit deeper into that front knee if it came out of it a little bit. And then inhale back to center for that warrior two. Pivoting on that back toe again, coming back into our crescent lunge. And then exhaling, swinging the arms wide, stepping that left foot back to meet the right for a plank. Here. You can hold here if you'd like, or come down to your knees. And then slowly lower your chest down to the mat. Inhaling up for cobra. Exhale, release. Bending the knees, tucking the toes, sending the hips high for our down dog. Taking a cleansing breath here. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. We're going to inhale, right foot up towards the sky. Exhale, bend the knee. Send it forward. Coming down on that left knee if you need to, or would like to, or keeping that left leg high, coming up into our crescent lunge. Checking our alignment here. Maybe pulling that right hip back to make your hips square with the front of your mat. And that front knee is stacked over that right ankle. And your hands can stay at your hips for a little bit of a shoulder break. Engaging that back leg to really lift it up. Squeezing your glutes. Bringing your arms up above your head if they're not already there. Inhaling up. Exhale, open up into warrior two. And so now your back foot is to the back of your mat. Your toes are still pointed forwards on that front foot. Arms are out straight. Pulling those shoulders back a little bit as you send that knee over ankle alignment here. Tucking in your tailbone, keeping your core engaged. Taking a breath here. And then on your next inhale, hinging at the hips, reaching forward as you then tick-tock your arms down for our side angle. So bringing that elbow on the inside of your knee. You don't need to touch the ground here as your core is doing the work. So you can bring your elbow to your thigh to just gently rest. You're not dumping into it as you're still keeping the strength here within your core. And then inhaling back up to center for our warrior two. Flipping the palm, exhale, reverse warrior. Sending that right arm high. Your gaze is up towards the sky. Maybe bending into that front knee a little bit as we tend to straighten it as we move into reverse. Inhaling back into warrior two. Taking a breath here. On your next inhale, swinging your arms back up into our crescent lunge for just a moment. Exhale, Hands down to the mat, framing that front foot, sending that right foot back, coming into plank. You can move through, bringing your knees down to the mat if you'd like, or you can go through a chaturanga if that is in your practice. So you bring your elbows towards your ribs, inhaling up into up dog, top of your feet and your palms are on the mat. Exhale, send your hips high for down dog. But always listen to your body and see what they need right now in this moment. And just taking a breath here. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. Taking one more cleansing breath. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. Then you're going to bring your knees down to the mat. Spread your knees wide as you need to, as you send your hips back for a child's pose. Now this child's pose can be restorative. So you can cross your arms here, stacking your arms actually, your forearms over each other, as you can rest your head on your wrist here. As you steady your breath, practicing those elongated inhales and exhales. Then on your next inhale, you're going to begin sitting up and swinging your legs out in front of you for our staff pose. And you're going to bring your hands next to your hips on your mat, flexing your feet out in front of you, and your shoulders are stacked over your hips here. You're going to inhale your arms up towards the sky, pulling your shoulders back, so you're really squeezing those shoulder blades. And then you're going to hinge at the hips here. So your back is still straight. If you feel tightness in your hips, bend your knees, as this is going to alleviate some of that. Or if you're feeling your hamstrings are really tight today. And so you're still leading with the chest here, maybe on each exhale, coming a little bit closer, even if it's just a micro inch. And then on your next exhale, releasing, grabbing onto your shins, your ankles, or your feet, keeping those knees bent if you need to, and just letting your body fold over your legs. Steadying your breath here. If your knees are bent, maybe you're able to gently begin straightening them, keeping those feet flexed. You can bend your elbows to pull yourself closer to your legs as well. And then on your next inhale, begin walking your hands up towards your legs up towards your hips until your shoulders are stacked over your hips. Taking a cleansing breath here. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. Then you're going to bring the bottoms of your feet to your mat as we prepare to roll onto our backs. So you can hold on to the backs of your thighs or use your boat arms and slowly lower each vertebrae at a time onto your mat until your shoulders and your head follows. We're going to do our floor pigeon or our figure four stretch here. So keeping your left foot on the mat, you're going to pick up your right foot and cross the right ankle over the left knee. So you're now making a figure 4 shape that is upside down, away from you. Or you could interlace your fingers underneath your left knee, maybe gripping onto the back of your left thigh, interlacing your fingers here. Keeping your shoulders on the mat, though, and you can pick up that left foot off the mat. So you're feeling your hip bones into the mat and your shoulder blades here. And you can stay here, keeping both feet flexed, or you can begin drawing your legs closer towards your body. You're going to feel it in your hips here, so definitely listen to your body and don't push it. You can also gently use your right elbow kind of as a counterweight to that right knee, pressing it away from your body as you're drawing that left knee towards your body. Taking one more breath here. And then on your next exhale, reversing those movements. So releasing your hands if you're grabbing that left leg. Bringing your hands back down into the mat as your left foot comes to the mat. Bringing that right foot down onto the mat. And let's windshield wiper those knees. So just sending those knees side to side, kind of giving your hips and low back a little massage here. And then coming back to center, bringing that left ankle on top of your right knee. So your right foot is on the mat here. And staying here, if you'd like, if that feels good, maybe gently pressing, and I'm really gently pressing that left knee away from you. Kind of feel that stretch in that hip here. Or if your body's asking for something a little deeper, grabbing the back of that right thigh, keeping your feet flexed, and drawing your legs closer towards you. So you have a lot of options here. Just finding what works for you. And you'll probably notice the differences in each side. Maybe you're using that left knee to gently press that left elbow to gently press that left knee away from you. Keeping those shoulder blades on the mat, feeling your hips on the mat here, and flexing those feet. Taking one more breath here, wherever you are. And then on your next exhale, releasing your hands. If you're holding on to that right thigh, the right foot comes to the mat, the left foot comes to the mat. Windshield wiper your legs to each side, rolling onto the sides of your feet as you send your knees in opposite direction. And then you're going to bring your knees in towards your chest, holding on to your shins as you pull them in towards you. Lifting your head up towards your knees. Hug yourself because you love yourself. Take a deep inhale here. And on your exhale, send your limbs in every direction onto the mat for your final Shavasana. Your final resting pose. The reward that we deserve after working so hard in this practice. Feeling your shoulder blades in the mat, your hips, your heels, tops of your hands and your elbows. Doing whatever you need to do to make yourself comfortable for the next moments. If you're feeling sensitivity in your lower back, you can bend your knees, bring the bottoms of your feet to the mat. And that kind of releases that low back and presses it into the mat here. You can also bring the bottoms of your feet to touch for your butterfly or cobbler's pose, for your supine Baddha Konasana. allowing the energy that you created to flow through your body as you rest, as you feel peace and gratitude, but also pride for finishing what you had started. Feeling your belly or your chest rise, those inhales, and sink back down for your exhales. Maybe your heart rate is slowing down now. And whenever you're ready, you can roll on to your right side, cradling your head with your right bicep, bending the knees, coming into our fetal or our rebirth, recognizing the differences in our body and in our mind than when we first began this practice. Coming back to the intention that you may have set, or maybe setting one now. It can be a simple word or phrase like gratitude, being thankful, or being present. And whenever you're ready, you can use your left hand, pressing yourself up, coming into a seated, cross-legged seated position, our Sukhasana. Keeping your eyes closed, if you feel comfortable, or your gaze shifted down towards your lap. Stacking your shoulders over your hips here. Letting your hands rest on your knees. Maybe your palms are up to receive the energy that you've just created in your space. Maybe you press your shoulders back a little to stack them over your hips. As you sit here in your strength. And on your next inhale, you can bring your palms to touch at heart center for prayer, pressing your thumbs into your sternum. I thank you for being here for this practice, for doing something special for yourself, for spending time on yourself, so that we can better be there for others. You may now bow forward to seal your practice.